conversation.
Yes.
People are tweeting at me at Evco Radio because we learned today that Michelle Smallman has stolen advice from Delilah, the all-time iconic radio host who hosts nationally doing like love songs, right?
Advice
and love songs. And Small's big advice she gives to young broadcasters, we learned today, she just stole from Delilah without crediting. That's true. Some tweets here at Evco Radio, EVCO Radio. Please follow me if you want to follow Smalls. At Evco Radio, from Dave 4EP. If I ever had the opportunity to request a song from Delilah, I'd choose Open Arms from Journey.
Oh, great one.
Okay.
Faithfully, also a great Journey song to request.
E773 EE tweets that he would have on Bended Knee, Boys to Men. That's a great one.
Very good Delilah request song.
That's a good one. Hodgepack, our guy Ryan, Hodgepack Sports. I'm guessing Boys to Men and Bryan Adams being requested a lot. That's a good one. And then, this is a good. Coach John G. Morak tweets that it would be Peter Gabriel, In Your Eyes. That's an amazing
These are great
one.
songs.
Yeah.
Good late night music, because she was on The Light, which was simulcast nationally. It's good late night music.
Such a reporter. She's like giving facts and information. Courtney
love that.
Cronin.
Yeah, I don't go off of vibes. I go off of things I know. And I
love
remember
that.
listening to her as a child, like late at night. I had my Walkman. Like I had my Walkman before I had my CD-ROM player. Do you ever remember those?
Of course.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd listen to Delilah at nighttime.
It's so funny you say that, Court, because someone was talking to me the other day about Lil Wayne coming in studio, and they're like, I can't believe that you had him in studio, because I remember you burning me CDs, it would be like the Napster mix of Lil Wayne. I was like, I put so many viruses on the family computer, downloading Lil Wayne songs, and now he is our friend and hangs out with us in studio.
Have you ever talked to him about music? Because I bet you...
No, we talk sports.
I know, but I bet you Lil Wayne, if he's watching or listening right now,
Shout out to Wayne.
probably listened to Delilah and has all of these influences in his music. Because his tracks that he does with others, it's a very eclectic list of people. So I bet you his influence is similar to this here. I also bet you he'd have an opinion on what we're about to do here. So we talk about over-under. Like, we could have Pat or Cam or Nuno give us the DraftKings over-unders for an NFL team, right?
Yes.
They could pick any NFL team, and we could just blurt out. They could say, all right, Team X, over-under, and we would have like a legit heated conversation about it. That's us as talk show hosts and fans. It's rare that you ever hear an owner of a team just slip in over under. Now, he didn't, this next soundbite, he didn't do anything wrong. It's just an interesting thing. So Jimmy Haslam is the owner of the Cleveland Browns. The managing partner, J.W. Johnson, and principal partner, Jimmy Haslam, met with the media, and he was asked, with so much change, what they would define success as in 2026. And here's what he had to say.
Winning consistently.
I would say this, and we never do this, but I think the odds are for us to win 5.5 games. I'll take the over.
Okay, JW spoke first. He spoke in broad terms, winning. And then Jimmy Haslam comes in and says, the odds are 5.5. I'll take the over. How do we feel about that? He's referencing an over-under. I don't think he did anything wrong, but I don't know that I've ever heard an owner of a team reference an over-under from DraftKings before.
I don't know if I have either. And I understand the messaging was we're going to be better than people expect. And I say, how? Who's your quarterback going to be? You're telling people to take the over. First of all, 5.5.
Would you take the over-under? That's a good question. We should just ask that first. Would you take the over-under?
The under. Who's the quarterback?
Courtney, would you take the over-under 5.5 for the Browns?
I would take the under. They nailed the under last year for where they were at. I have a lot of issues with things that Jimmy Haslam has said previously. You get a level of honesty with him, though, that sometimes doesn't come across with every NFL owner. When he said they took a big swing and a miss with Deshaun Watson, how many other owners are going to admit something like that? So for all the negative that has come out with this organization throughout his time as an owner and all the cringe that has come out with this organization, I don't hate what he said here because I think he's trying to be relatable to, I understand what people think about our team this year and where we expect to be, where they expect us to be. He's taking the optimistic look. What do you want an NFL owner to say? Yeah, like hammer the under on this. We suck. What do you want him to say? I have no issue with it. It's to the bigger picture here, though. This is where gambling and the wagering language has made its way into sports to where it's commonplace that you're referencing odds, and there's going to be those who say it's affecting the integrity of the game when you have an NFL owner talking about hammer the over here. We're going to be better than 5.5 wins. I mean, frankly, bar's pretty low, but I don't think he meant anything by it. Even the way that he prefaced it didn't make you think it was anything that has to do with like nefarious behavior in gambling.
Course, yeah.
But I think he's trying to be relatable. And for somebody who has not been relatable as an owner, somebody who has dodged a lot of questions, made some big moves, and let his general manager and former head coach and Kevin Stefanski fall on the sword for things that he directed them to do. This one, I'm not. Of all of the sins of Jimmy Haslam, this one I don't think is on a top 5 or top 10 list for me.
No, I think it's, as you mentioned, Courtney, gambling is just so fully infiltrated in our everyday lives that it's part of the lexicon. And I don't think he was actually telling people to go out there and bet the over. I think it was more a generalized statement, we're going to be better than people think we are. But my issue with it is that it plays into the same delusion that he has when talking about Deshaun Watson. He said it was a big swing and a miss, and then he came back out and said, he's looking great, this is a fresh start, etc. How? Based on the body of work that I have seen from him and what he is dealing with physically coming off injury, how do I expect it to be any better? And if I don't know who the quarterback is going to be, how do I expect you to be better than people suggest? And I went and I looked at the schedule. They have 10 games before the bye week. And there was one game in there that I thought maybe they would have a fighting chance. In 10 games, one opponent that I thought, oh yeah, maybe they could win that game.
So are you saying it's not off the board? I don't want to put words in your mouth, so correct me if I'm wrong. It's not off the board for the Browns to be 1-9 going into the bye week?
Can I quickly give you the teams?
Sure.
And I'm just going to read 1 through 10, and you guys clock who you think they could beat out of this crop, okay? Mm-hmm. At Jacksonville, at Tampa Bay, versus Carolina, versus
Carolina.
You think they could beat the Panthers?
It's on the table, sure.
Okay, there's one. Versus the Steelers.
It's on the table.
I don't think so. At the Jets.
On the table.
Yep, that's the one. Baltimore, Tennessee.
Tennessee's on the table for
I don't think so either. Pittsburgh, New Orleans, Houston.
I think that there are 3 teams on there through the first 10 weeks of the season.
And
So
I guess
I'm hammering the over on that.
I only put the Jets on the list because, okay, you said, yeah, maybe you are hammering the over.
Courtney's like, you know what? I do agree with Jimmy Haslam now.
Okay,
What a brilliant gambler this guy is.
The Carolina Panthers won the division last year. Bryce Young took a step forward. I like what is happening with he and Dave Canales, and they have some interesting pieces that they added to that team. I don't think they're better than the Browns. The Jets, I don't know what they're doing, so they're on my list. The Tennessee Titans, I expect to take a step forward as well. You have Rob Saleh there stabilizing the defense. Brian Daboll is going to be working there with Cam Ward, who I expect to be a breakout player this year. And I repeat, I don't know who the quarterback is going to be for the Cleveland Browns. And quite frankly, I'm not all that intrigued or enthused by the 2 options that they do have.
Everything you're saying is beyond fair, whether Courtney and I disagree or not. Like, it's such a reasoned, smart argument that you're making. FPI, or Football Power Index, I believe is what it stands for, has them favored in 1 game this year. I just want to point out one thing, and I'm going to channel my inner producer Nuno on this. If they don't hit the over, is their head coach, who no one expected to be a head coach necessarily this year, Todd Monken, on the hot seat already before coaching a game? With multiple first-round picks next year in the Arch Manning draft?
How could you blame him, though, if he doesn't have a quarterback?
Well, the guy who owns the team is telling you, I expect to be over 5.5 wins. So if you're at 5 wins, which one Michelle Smallman would say, Todd Monken, coach of the year if you get this group to 5 wins, what the person that signs Todd Monken's checks is telling you is, I expect to get to at least 6. So if I'm channeling my inner producer Nuno, which is put every coach on the hot seat as many times as possible for as many different reasons, I think it is reasoned now and logical to say Jimmy Haslam just gave this team a number to surpass. And Michelle Smallman